Stars, my name is Blue, and today we're lost in Pesterquest. It's Wednesday, so normally we'd be reading the epilogue, but my girl Nepeta is next. And I'm excited. So, we're doing Pesterquest, Volume 9, Route 1, the lionlessly girl in Alternia. Loneliest. Time to face the facts. Something is going on here. Not that you didn't already know that. You've had the blurry outlines of all this strangeness for a long time. It's only after your stint with Aradia that you managed to fill in all the shapes and colors. Your friends, the companions you've been to hell and back with, you forgot about them. That feels like... you can't even come up with a significantly dramatic mixed metaphor. It feels bad. Your desperate friendship thirst was compelled. You get that. And it's mostly worn off by now, but what the fuck else are you supposed to do? It's basically just your job now, so you'll keep doing that job. Whatever. Let's just do the damn route. Who did Equios tell you about? His Moira, right? You'll go try to find her in the middle of the woods, which is a very normal thing to do. You'll be normal. It's a normal kind of day. You zap to the mouth of a cave and are immediately set upon by a wild beast. Yellow eyes flash and sharp teeth glitter. You brace yourself to be made into dinner. What is this, a child's book? The wild lioness sits back on her haunches and contemplates the stranger. The wild lioness sits back on her haunches and contemplates the stranger. That's how you know she does that. She tells you. But taking a closer look, you realize that she is, in fact, not a wild lioness. Just a very unkempt troll in a green coat and grubby t-shirt. She smells like a fire pit. AC licks her snout and tries to figure out who has happened upon her den. A friend? A foe? Dinner, perhaps? The troll girl licks her lips, and you realize that even though she is not some bloodthirsty predator, she does have very sharp canines and clawed gauntlets on her little hands. She's small, but with trolls, you've discovered the hard way that size does not translate in a 1-to-1 strength ratio. You tell her that you're a friend. Definitely a friend. And not at all the sort of friend you playfully fight with and then accidentally eviscerate, because you never know with trolls. The girl whose name you have a sneaking suspicion might be Nepeta scratches her chin, her fingers curled up like a paw. You're worried that she's going to pet her eye out with those claws. She'll be fine. AC wrinkles her nose and wonder what anyone could be doing all the way out here in the waste. It's not very plausible. That one was a bit of a stretch. How did you come upon my cave? AC says it with a growly glower. Play along. It just so happens you're an expert RPer, and by expert you mean you once played Soldier Perby. You once played Soldier Perbeast with a stressed out Jade Blood kid, which you'd forgotten about until literally yesterday. Anyways, what you mean is, you've got some moves. You go limp and show Nepeta your throat, yielding to who is clearly the alpha female here. You're barely even role-playing here. Every owl of blood you've met could rip your intestines and wear them as a shawl. Nepeta beams down at you before remembering that she's a regal lioness. AC nuzzles the strange little cub and welcomes them into her cave. Appearing to realize that she doesn't need to describe her actions out loud because you're right in front of her, Nepeta nuzzles you gently with the top of her head. I love her! feeling she doesn't get out much. You tell her you didn't mean to startle her or anything. You just think you have a mutual friend. A big indigo blood named Equius. Nepeta digs her nails into your arms. Her eyes go wide. You know Equius? How? Where did you meet him? Tell me everything. Well, it's kind of a funny story. Before you can get into it, Nepeta launches herself off of you and scampers into the cave. When she runs, her knuckles occasionally touch the ground. You aren't sure if she moves like that naturally or if she's just very, very in character. No, this is all natural, MC. This is all Nepeta. She pauses at the mouth of the cave and gestures you inside, the sleeves of her coat flopping down past her wrist. If you had parents, they probably would have taught you not to follow cat girls into caves, but you didn't, so you're totally down. The cave is small and chilly. Several animal pelts cover the cavern floor, from creatures too large to be wolves, but too shaggy to be bears. Maybe some sort of wolf bear? All of the furniture is hewn from stone. The Rukupakun formed from a natural hollow in the rock. Of all of the hives you spent time in, this one is the most rustic. You wonder why. Nepeta isn't a high blood, but she's certainly not a low blood either. She could have made a hive at least as nice as Tavros's. AC welcomes the strange cub into her den and invites them to sit down wherever they please. I don't know how it sounds right now, but confession. I used to do the Nepeta voice a lot. Like a lot. Like a lot. She realizes that her visitor is probably sleepy and hungry. Luckily, AC has a fresh kill. Oh great. That is really lucky. Nepeta skips back outside, leaving you alone and feeling, well, like you followed a feral child into her cave. Torchlight burnishes shapes strange and forbidding, and the irregular flicker disorientating. Ugh. People used to do everything by firelight. No wonder medieval art is so preposterous. Dogs with the faces of old men and old men with the faces of babies. And speaking of art, drawings pepper the cave walls, shaky and crude, although you doubt even Michael fucking Angelo could do much with a canvas like this. The pictures seem to depict Nepeta and various other trolls, some of whom you think you recognize. You see Karkat's snubby little horns and Equius's broken one. A few pictures have been viciously scratched out. A couple of self-portraits of Nepeta also feature a large, sleek white cat. You wonder if that's her hunter Sona, lion Sona? Whatever. Then you hear a growl behind you and realize, oh right, Nepeta has elusives. A hot, damp breath touches the back of your neck, and you turn as slowly and as carefully as you can. Oh, hello kitty. Two hissing mouths open into two snarls as a big cat backs you up against the cavern wall. Oh, pounce at us, silly kitty. This is a friend. Nepeta hurries back inside, throwing herself onto her looses and petting rambunctiously. Pounce's hisses immediately turn into purrs. She rolls into her back and bats big, terrifying paws into the air. Aw, who's a good kitty? Who's the very best kitty? Pounce, we have a guest for dinner. They know Equius. You do, right? Nepeta looks at you with sharp little eyes. You do know my Meowrel. You weren't lying. Oh, definitely not. You would never lion. You'll never forget Equius no matter how hard you try. Although, you did recently forget every single person you ever knew. That will absolutely never happen again, though. You won't allow it. AC leaves her weird friend in the very capable paws of her Lucis while she goes to prepare a delicious meal. Oh damn. Nepeta, please don't go away and leave your guest alone with your ferocious beast. But Pounce seems pretty well placated by Nepeta's insistence that you are a friend and not food. She curls up on one of the animal pelts, tucking her head. Her tail twitches and her ears flick. You're pretty sure she's only pretending to be asleep. Like she's giving you a shot, and if you fuck up, it's lunchtime. You sit very still and try your best to look unthreatening. Just a little while ago, this would have been easy. You'd been totally defenseless and thinking the most unthreatening thoughts, but now you remember at least a little of who you were, and you know what you've done, even if some of it was done in dead-end timelines that never actually came to pass. You're not sure if you can still call yourself an innocent bystander. Nepeta derails this dangerous train of thought by dragging in a huge haunch. That's just really the only word for it, a hunch. Something's leg. Wow, when she said she had a fresh kill, you figured that was part of the RP. Like she was just gonna pull out a DiGiorno or something like that. But nope, she really did tear apart some animal and bring it you its leg. Well, yeah. She is a feral child. She has blood smeared over one cheek, her hair in pieces across her sweaty forehead. You get why she and Equius get along. They have an equivalent ferocity. Good thing you aren't a vegetarian. You are gratified to discover Nepeta appears to draw her roleplay line at devouring raw meat. You wonder if trolls could eat meat raw or if it would make them sick. They definitely seem to be more natural predators than humans are, but then again, most of them live in houses and eat cup noodles and play video games. You've never really met anyone like Nepeta. You watch her build a fire and then take yourself on a little trip to the mouth of the cave while she cuts up the meat and spears it on stakes to cook. You come back over to the fire when the meat looks a little bit less like flesh and more like food. Honestly, it shouldn't bother you. You've seen and been through so much worse. Yes, the mind is a strange and many-layered beast.
There you are. I thought you'd run out into the waste like a big puffle idiot. It's dangerous out there.
Well, she went out there, although it's possible she's dangerous too. That makes Nepeta smile. She still can't quite meet your eyes, but she's fidgeting with her gauntlets less than she was before.
So you really met Equius? Really?
She slides up close to you, almost too close to talk comfortably. You wonder if this is the first conversation she's ever had that wasn't through a computer screen. You tell her that yes, really, you met him. You spent a good amount of time with him too.
That's incredible! I've never seen that silly guy hang out with anyone before. Except for maybe Whiskers.
Whiskers? Oh, does she mean Vriska? You know her too.
Really? Really?
Yep. You would probably be hanging out with her right now if she hadn't gone off to do some Antifa shit with Terezi.
You know Terezi too? GC?
Oh yeah, for sure. Does Nepeta? You're expecting her to exclaim and wag her imaginary tail, and so she goes quiet. Fat pops and sizzles in the fire. Across the cave, Pounce lets out a lazy squeak that sounds like it comes from a much smaller cat. You ask Nepeta if everything is okay.
So, what you're saying is, you know all my friends?
Well, that's not exactly what you said. It is kind of creepy if you dwell on it, but you keep meeting people through other people. That's normal, right? Well, you did just happen upon Vriska on the beach, and Aradia found you asleep in the field. You haven't asked Nepeta if she knows Aradia, but you're sure that she does. Somehow. Slowly, Nepeta lifts her gaze from the flames and meets your eyes for the very first time. Maybe it's the firelight or the shadows gamboling on the walls, but she looks haunted, hollowed out and filled with something you can't name.
What are you?
Nepeta may be goofy and playful and awkward. That doesn't make her an idiot. And you get the idea that threatening her like one is a very good way to have a very bad time. Let's explain. You tell Nepeta that you don't know what you are, or even who you are. You certainly know better than you did a few volumes ago, but you think you're an anomaly. You've crashed into someone else's story. Nepeta is still watching you carefully, muscles wound tight. She's ready to pounce. On the fire, the meat begins to blacken and burn. But neither of you say anything. There goes dinner.
Me and some friends were supposed to play a game. Different from the games we usually play. And Aqueous was going to pray this time, and he usually hates games. But then the game didn't work.
Oh, right. You know about the game. She blinks at you.
I dream sometimes.
Dreams? Well, that's pretty normal.
Not normal dreams, dummy. At least I don't think they are. I suppose that if they aren't, I wouldn't have anything to compare them to. They're the only sort of dreams I've ever seen. I'm not sure what they are. I see other Nepetas sometimes. Sometimes Pounce is there, and sometimes she's dead. And that always makes me very sad. I see my friends too. And other people I don't know, but I think would be pretty good friends if I got the chance.
The bright, hopeful note in Nepeta's voice digs deep at the center of you, plucking at your nerves like a cello string. It makes you so impossibly sad, you don't know why.
I don't see you, though. I don't think you fit in here.
Ouch.
I apologize. I didn't mean to make you feel bad. My dreams are probably silly and don't mean anything.
She springs up from the fire and... Is this a typo? She springs up from the fire and down on Pounce. Burying her hands and face in thick fur, you get up and follow after her, because what else do? You should probably give up on this particular round at this point. You've quite thoroughly killed the friendship mood with all this existential angst. Why does she live all the way out here anyway? Wouldn't it be better to live closer to all of her amazing friends? At least Aqueous. Even Terezi, who is definitely very weird, has a house. Admittedly, it's in the tree, but it still counts.
Oh, I'm used to when I was a Wiggler. Or I think I did. A big lovely house with windows and lots of furniture for Pounce to scratch.
Pounce closes her eyes and purrs.
But then, I don't know. Something happened. I remember fire and noise and lots of shouting. And then I was on Pounce's back and we were running for a very, very long time. I think it was pretty terrible.
Nepeta's fingers tighten on Pounce's ruff.
I like it here.
You think back to a different olive blood girl in an oversized jacket who lived rough, and another who made her living with murder. In fact, you could see Nepeta growing into someone much like Polypa, sharper, meaner. All of her bright edges sanded off. Her games transformed into a struggle of survival. Even now, sitting bathed in firelight, she looks tired. Every troll you've met carries the same exhaustion between their shoulders, even the high bloods, to a certain extent. They're worn to the bone by the sheer weight of history and a future that promises more of the same. What does one do in the face of insurmountable misery? How can you, a simple silent protagonist, ever begin to combat something so all-consuming, so monstrous? Nepeta is waiting for you to trudge through your mandatory self-aggrandizing introspective interlude. So you do all you've ever claimed to do. You hold out a hand and wait for her to take it. Zap. Yes! Nepeta yelps and jumps an impressive 4 feet into the air. Fair, you were doing a dramatic gesture and forgot to prepare her for it. Sorry about that.
Where? Huh?
This is... Despite Aqueous's incredible strength and barely contained excitement, when he wraps Nepeta up in glistening, obscenely muscled arms, the embrace is the gentlest you've ever bear witness to. Yes! Why do they little faces? Okay. Aww. This is an incredibly unorthodox manner for a pair such as ourselves to become acquainted. I apologize for this gaudy display of public affection. It is extremely unseemly of me. Well, he isn't really in public right now. Actually, the opposite. You're the asshole who popped into his private living space with zero warning. Again. I suppose you're right. This is not the first time you have intruded on my space. Just let yourself in and out. How indecent. Okay, dude, calm down. You'll get sweaty. I am always sweaty.
Aqueous, you're smooshing me!
Oh. Aqueous, let's go. But he doesn't step away. He's looking at Lepeta like he can't quite believe she's real. Are you real?
I think so. I don't know how I got here.
Don't worry about it. She's so cool! Don't worry about it. Just think of it as a reward for being such a very good kitty. Wow, is that a weird thing to say? That was pretty weird. You'll take it back, but You'll take it back, but Nepeta doesn't appear to have noticed your fumbling. She's scampering around Aqueous in an increasingly excited circles. Maybe you can't fix these kids' lives. Maybe you can improve society. But when it really comes down to it, you have the power to bring friends together, and damn, you'll take it. I'm so glad we got that one! Ah! Oh, it's gonna be the shortest Pesterquest video I have released in a while, but we are leaving it right there! Right there! It's so cute! I love them so much! MC is starting to get the vibe of, I have these powers, I've forgot my old friends, something happened, I can do things, I can do something. It gives off like, fuck it, I'm gonna become the protector of this world, or universe, or whatever, vibes. Lepeta and Aqueous. I love them. Okay, it's gonna take me a while to like calm down from that, but that's it for today's stars. If you liked the video, please give it a like and subscribe if you haven't already to join our wonderful galaxy. Comment down below and I'll get back to you in some way or another, and I will see you for our next adventure. Remember, we're all made of the same cosmic dust, so be nice. Kate, love you. Bye.